Representatives on its today fourth working year 42nd regular session had the next year budget presented by Finance Minister. Members of the Parliament raised different issues which needs explanation and more clarity on the presented budget plan and the distribution of budget.
ሁለትና ሶስት አመታት ሀገራችን ለሁከትና ብጥብጥ የዳረጓት ችግሮች ብዙ ቢሆኑም
Even though the reasons led our country for instability were public dissatisfaction over the government and lack of fairness. To compensate this, the Prime Minister, while making his first speech to the Parliament, he stated that the government would solve the unfairness problems in the distribution of budget through research. And I know that the committee was established to do so. My question is, what is the committee's findings? My idea is the budget should depend on the real data and research-based distribution in which it will show the gap in budget distribution for the regional state.
Concerning monetary and fiscal policy, my intention is the policy have to improve. The policy serves us for some years, but now to solve the solid problems in the country, we have to put down the situation. Especially the challenges we are facing in our import and export are emerged from the policy, because the policy is the base for all works done in the future. And the Ministry of Finance have to conduct research by itself, rather than taking those done by IMF or World Bank.
የጆብ ኢቫሉዌሽን ኤንድ ግሬዲንግ የሚለው ነገር በየጊዜው ሲንከባለል የነበረው
Among the issues got attention and explained here is the issue of job evaluation and grading. It is one of the issues which this parliament was discussed for a long time. I want to say it is a good start. My question regarding the economic reform, it was said that the tele and communication sectors will transfer to the private sector previously. But in today's report, I have heard nothing on that. Why the report excluded it?
Minister of Finance Ahmed Shide, while responding to the members' questions and opinions, explained that the 2012 Ethiopian calendar Ethiopian budget is allocated by considering the internal, regional and continental economic situations. The minister urged that Ethiopian government's plan to change the economy of the country to agricultural development led to industrialization. The government is working with due attention for the industrial development.
Agro-industry park.
Regarding the industrial park development, the Parliament should understand that we allocated it after conducting studies. Concerning the economic reform, especially on the telecommunication, we have not included it clearly, but it is in our plan implicitly. Not only that, to solve the macroeconomic deficit we face now, we plan to reduce the government involvement in sugar corporation and also sales of hotels. In general, this budget plan and its distribution is done scientifically and based on country's economic status.
Ahmed Shide stated that the capital budget allocated as some increment that is for the road and irrigation development. That's why additional finance needed than the last year budget. Ahmed Shide underscored that the government is working to fast the economic process in order to create the regional economic stability and to solve problems of unfairness in the budget distribution and to create a stable microfinance. The House passed the budget plan to Finance and the Monetary Affairs Standing Committee for further scrutiny.
A delegation led by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed has visited Aksum town of the Tigray regional state, reviewing the current status of Aksum obelisks. And upon arrival, the delegation was welcomed by Vice President of the Tigray regional state, Dr. Debretsion Gebramikael. Welcome has more.
The Prime Minister of Ethiopia with his higher government officials delegation visited Aksum, Tigray regional state. Upon arrival in the city, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed was received by Vice President of the Tigray regional state, Dr. Debretsion Gebramikael. The delegation, including Chief of Staff General Sare Mokonnon, visited Aksum obelisk, which is a testament to Ethiopia's historic civilizations, reviewing the current status of the obelisks and held discussions with Aksum town residents. During his visit, the Prime Minister stated that he has discussed with the government of Italian to rehabilitate. The community members have also appreciated the Prime Minister's responsiveness to the call residents made to hold discussions with him on issues related to the rehabilitation of the obelisks. In addition, the Prime Minister addressed key queries raised regarding peace and security matters.
ሁለት ነገር አለ አንዳንዱ በጣም የተጋነነ ነገር አለ አሁን ትግራይም ሲኬድ ወይ ኦሮሚያም ሲኬድ አማራም ሲኬድ
There are two things here. The first one is, in our regional states, we have observed some exaggerated ideas, especially in matter of peace and stability. Many consider that we are in war. This should get an immediate correction soon. Second, when you wander Oromo or somewhere else, they consider that their region is peaceful and will pointing their finger to the other regions. Comparatively, all places are peaceful. The people of all regional states will strongly need to sustain this peace. They know that war has no value for the prosperity of their country, but there are groups who want to create chaos and conflict between our people. All the people and the government have to work in collaboration so as to fight and control those groups. The residents also raised various questions to the Premier, calling on his government to find lasting solution for the endangered obelisk and the chronic water scarcity in the city. The Premier have also reacted on the participants' comments and raised questions.
የቆመ ልማት የለም የነበረ ልማት ዘንድሮም ወርልድ ባንክም አይኤምኤፍም ቢያንስ እስከ 9% እድገት ኢትዮጵያ ልታመጣ እንደምትችል ተንብየዋል.
There are no developmental project activities that have stopped in this year. Things are progressing well in our developmental projects and others. For its surprise, both IMF and World Bank has predicted as Ethiopia will register at least a minimum of 9% of development in this year. We are strictly working on finishing the already started developmental projects with great quality. For instance, Mekelle Water Supply Project has been progressing well by the active participation of the community and the help of the federal government. The same progress has been underway for the Great Ethiopia Renaissance Dam and Sugar Corporation projects. Regarding to foreign currency, in this year only, which means from the 10-month report, the country is expecting $24 billion. This is the first in its kind in the history of Ethiopia. So we all have to get the awareness clearly. Dr. Abiy also reacted to queries raised from residents regarding to infrastructure development, federalism, constitution, the upcoming election, budget allocation, Ethio-Eritrean relation, among others.
Minister of Technology and Innovation, Dr. Engineer Getachew Mokria, stated that efforts should be exerted to adopt knowledge and experience from technologically developed countries of the world. And the Ethiopian Innovation Week has been marked in Finnish City, where the remark came out with panel discussions, of course. Aklu Gabru has more.
Ethiopian Technological Innovation Week is being marked with different ceremonies. The week is being celebrated with information communication technology exhibition and a new technology invention contests that would end by awarding the winners. It was also marked with panel discussion through gathering domestic and overseas actors of the sector. Good opportunities and challenges of the sector was also briefly discussed on the event. Minister of Innovation and Technology Dr. Engineer Getachew Mokria said Innovation Week is being market to encourage innovators of the sector.
Innovate Africa Digital is on catching up on the technologies and policies in telecom sector.
Dr. Engineer Getachew Mokria further noted that the sector has created vast job opportunity for citizens. A State Minister of Innovation and Technology, Sisaitola, for his part remarked that such types of discussions have vital role to interconnect citizens through Internet.
የዲጂታል ኢኮኖሚው ለኢትዮጵያም ለዓለምም ሕዝብ ወደፊት ያስቀመጠው በጣም ትልቅ እድል አለ.
The digital economy has brought great opportunity for Ethiopia in particular and the world in general. Research findings show that digital economy would produce $37 trillion till 2025. Best experiences across the world were shared on the event.
The Federal Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission disclosed that it is working and serving the public through properly discharging its responsibilities without any external pressure. The commission has held discussion with stakeholders on draft bill here in Adama town. Adisa Safa had the story.
The Federal Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has held discussion on how to fight corruption that are observed both on private and government properties. The Commission has discussed on how to set strategies in registering both government and public properties and how to implement legal measures when corruption is committed. On the occasion, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, both at regional and federal level, House of People representatives, Attorney Generals, Federal Police Commissions have participated. Participants of the discussion forwarded opinions and questions as well.
The Commission has not got absolute authority how dare it fight corruption. It used to investigate and accuse the criminals, but this role is given to Attorney General. Now we are working on awareness creation because those who commit theft against the country have got lack of awareness. Investigating and accusing was the authority of Ethics Anti-Corruption Commission before. A study should be presented on the limitation.
Deputy Commissioner of Federal Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Atikul Godai, said the Commission has problems in terms of finance, authority and unity. He added there is lack of taking responsibility, especially when the public requests something. This sector should give feedback on the spot. The authorities that the Commission used to have is given to another body. We would like to ask the government what should be done to have effective implementation. We will come up with a research study as well.
We are teaching ethics by begging budget. This does not work. We should not minimize the tendency of corruption through begging. Investigating and accusing has given to the Attorney General. But it is better to respect our job, saying that authority is ours.
We need to set a new strategies of fighting corruption, especially by taking international trends. In the presence of people, we should give the responsibility for the best fit. We also build public trust without anyone's interference.
Corruption, the most dangerous thing that hinders development. And countries like China, of course, hang those people who engage in theft. And in developing nations, of course, imprisoning those individuals is the best experience that has ever been known. Residents of Holota town stressed the need to establish a strong economy to further sustain the ongoing reform being implemented in the country. A conference focusing on the Oromo economic revolution has been held in Holota town. Tosga Mulatu tells us more.
The conference aimed at strengthening the started Oromo economic revolution has been held with residents of Holota town administration. On the discussion, Mayor of the town administration, Otukana Oda, said that to beat poverty, the Oromo people should change its working culture. Economy is the source of dignity. If you don't have economic power, anybody can undermine you. The same is true for the nation. So we have to work hard to change our economic status. Residents of the town who took part on the discussion suggested that the Oromo people should give great attention for this economic development than any other change. Poverty is a very dangerous thing for a given country. The Oromo people have gained political victory. This should be repeated on economic sphere. This should be our prior attention. Previously, the Oromo people do not have unity. That is why we couldn't manage our own resources. Therefore, we have to listen each other. If we do so, as we have registered better result in political arena, we can make it in economic aspects.
The Oromo economic revolution was first launched by the former president of the Oromo State, Lamma Magarsa, who is now Minister of Defense of the country. And the Kenya Beverage and Oda Bus and others are under this revolution philosophy, and it's being worked on that in many regards. Thank you for watching. Have a good time. Bye-bye.